देखिए लास्ट पे हमने आपको बेसिकली बताया था कि व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट थ्योरीज फॉर स्पेसिफिक हीट एंड व्हाई कैलकुलेशन ऑफ स्पेसिफिक हीट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड हाउ इट इज रिलेटेड विद द फर्स्ट लॉ ऑफ थर्मोडायनेमिक्स विद द एनर्जी ऑफ द सिस्टम। तो बेसिकली अगर आपको हीट कैपेसिटी निकालनी है तो आपको सिस्टम की वाइब्रेशनल एनर्जी या लैटिस, अगर यहाँ पे हम बात कर रहे हैं वाइब्रेशनल कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ द हीट कैपेसिटी, सो इट विल कम फ्रॉम द वाइब्रेशनल मोड्स and the vibrational modes will give rise to vibrational energy, and the derivative of vibrational energy is the specific heat. So in this table you can see that there are the heat capacity of some solids at 298 degree Kelvin, sufficiently high temperature. So you see that mostly all the solids have heat capacity almost similar except for diamond. Okay, so that I will discuss later on what is the reason for this. And there are several theories of heat capacity. 1 minute. I already told you that the basically difference between different theories is that you should make it little bit. Yes. So how we calculate the vibrational energy? So basically, we can consider atoms as a linear chain of you have large number of atoms are treated as harmonic oscillator, whether it is classical theory or it is a Einstein theory. Okay, so if there are n atoms, it will have n harmonic oscillator. In three dimension, each harmonic oscillator has 3 degree of freedoms. So we can consider a 3n harmonic oscillator in three dimensions. So the difference between different theories based on that how the proposed frequency spectrum is calculated for the oscillator. That is the main difference. There are different methods of calculating frequency spectrum of the oscillator, and they give rise to different theory. The basic theory, classical theory, was given by Dulong-Pettit, and that is called Dulong-Pettit law. And then there is another theory which is given by Einstein theory, and it was modified by Debye, and you have Debye theory. Then there is a Born's modification to Debye's theory. And today I will talk about the first two parts, Dulong-Pettit law and Einstein theory. So I will start with Dulong-Pettit law. So any theory, any theory of lattice vibration, yeah, contribution of heat capacity by lattice vibration of crystalline solid must explain two things. The first thing is you all know from Dulong-Pettit law that near room temperature, the heat capacity of most of the solids is equal to 3K per atoms or 3 nr per mole. Molar heat capacity is 3 nr, which is constant. And this is well known Dulong-Pettit law. So that is the first thing which every theory must explain. A second thing is that it is about the high temperature. And for low temperature, the specific heat decreases with temperature, and at 0 degree Kelvin, it becomes zero. And the heat capacity has this type of variation alpha T cube plus gamma T, where T cube is the arises from lattice vibration, and the linear term gamma T is this term is from the conduction electron. And I in the beginning I told you that the contribution of conduction electron is much less than the lattice vibrations, and the conduction electrons mostly contribute in case of conductors only. Okay, so I will focus on the contribution from the vibrational part or lattice vibration, and the lattice heat capacity at low temperature is proportional to T cube, and this is also called T cube dependence of heat capacity. So all theories must explain these two properties. At high temperature it should be constant 3 nr, and at low temperature it should vary as T cube. Okay. And the first theory, the classical theory, in which the energy of harmonic oscillator, which has a natural frequency omega, is given by the sum of kinetic energy and the potential energy, and all terms have their usual meaning. I will not explain what is the meaning of P or what is the meaning of M here. And using this, the average energy of harmonic oscillator according to classical statistical mechanics is given by 0 to infinity epsilon e to the power minus epsilon by kt d epsilon, and this. And if we if we solve these integrals, we get the average energy equal to kt. It means the classical harmonic oscillator has a fixed energy at a constant temperature, which is kt. So if we calculate, it is for one atom, and if we calculate for n atoms, or then in 3 dimension it will become energy will be 3n times average energy, which is 3n kT. Okay, and for calculating the heat capacity we have to take the first derivative of energy at constant volume. So for a solid containing one type of atoms only, if n is equal to Avogadro number, then one obtains the specific heat per gram of the molecule, or molar specific heat for per gram of the mole, per gram of the substance, that is given by del E by del T, or 3nk. And 3nk, n is the Avogadro number, k is the Boltzmann constant, it is equal to R. So heat capacity is equal to 5.96 calorie per degree per mole. Since the energy has a linear dependence on temperature, then specific heat is a derivative of the energy, it is independent of temperature. So whether temperature is high or temperature is low, the de Long-Petit law gives you the constant energy, constant heat capacity 5.96 calorie per degree per mole. It is according to this law. So heat capacity is independent of temperature, and this law is, it holds good for high temperature. However, I told you earlier also, at high temperature specific heat, uh, it should be uh, it should be at low temperature. Okay, at low temperature the specific heat of solid decreases and drops to 0 at 0 degree Kelvin. It means when temperature is 0, heat capacity becomes 0. So the law could not explain, it cannot be explained on the basis of classical theory. And the classical mechanics predicts that Cv is equal to 3R at all temperature, which is in violation to both experiment and the third law of thermodynamics. Then Einstein gave his theory of the heat capacity. In 1907, this statement is given by Einstein that if Planck's theory of radiation has hit upon the heart of the matter, then we must also expect to find contradictions between the present kinetic molecular theory and practical experience to other areas of heat capacity, contradictions which can be removed in the same way. And he removed this contradiction using the Planck's formula of black body radiation. So, what are the basic assumptions of the Einstein theory? You know, in 1900, the Planck's formula came into the picture, which says that the energy of harmonic oscillator, it is not continuous, it is quantized. Okay. And in 1906, Einstein gave his theory, and in his model, there were certain assumptions. First assumption is that the solid containing n atoms could be represented by 3n harmonic oscillator of the same frequency nu. It means there are n atoms, each atom is harmonic oscillator, and all harmonic oscillator have the same frequency nu. And second assumption is that the atoms vibrate independently of each other. Okay, they don't see the other atom or neighboring atom. So basically we can say that he neglected interatomic interactions. Okay, he assumed that each atom is independent of each other and each atom vibrate independently, and the frequency of vibration is also same because each atom has similar or identical surrounding. That was his second assumption. And third, he used the made of he used the result of Planck, that which he gave in 1900, and in connection with the theory of black body radiation. And according to Planck, a harmonic oscillator does not have continuous energy spectrum as assumed in the classical theory, but it can accept only the energy values which are integral multiple of h nu. So the harmonic oscillator, energy of a harmonic oscillator is equal to n times h nu. Okay, where n is equal to 0, 1, 2, etc. So if we talk about the average energy of harmonic oscillator, that is given by, instead of integral sign, in case of classical theory, there was an integral sign from n equal to 0 to infinity. Here we have summation sign because the energy is discrete, it is not the continuous. Okay, and energy, it should be in place of it is n h nu e to the power n h nu by kt, and e to power minus this formula I will not repeat. And if we want to if we want to find out average energy of harmonic oscillator, where energy is given by the Planck's formula, we assume that the term in the denominator, 1 minute, I should move, cursor is not, okay, this term, okay, if we assume e to the power h nu by kt minus this term as s, denominator as s, and this term from mathematics, this term is equal to 1 minus e to the power minus h nu by kt minus 1. Okay, and if we take the derivative of this term with respect to 1 by kt, derivative of s, partial derivative of s with respect to 1 by kt. Okay, it means suppose we assume 1 by kt is equal to x, then this term will become h nu x. Okay, h nu x, and we take derivative del s by del x. Okay, and we will get this term. So basically this term is first derivative of uh, uh, x if x equal to kt. And if we solve this del s by del kt, we will get, if we solve this, we will get h nu e to the power minus h nu by kt into 1 minus e to the power h nu by kt square. Okay, if we solve this mathematically in the mathematics, if we take x e to the power minus x summation from n equal to 0, something like that, we will get this formula, this equation number 8. And if we put these two values, 8 and 9, values of del s by del 1 upon kt, these values in equation number 6. Okay, see, this term is assumed to be s, this is s, and this term is nothing but del s upon uh, del s, the value of derivative with respect to 1 upon kt. Okay, so if we substitute, combine 7 and 8, 8 and 9 with equation number 8 and 9 with equation number 6. So we will get equation number 6. It is very simple mathematics, just substitution, and you will get the energy, average energy divided by kT is equal to e to the power h nu by kT, e to the power h nu by kT minus 1. And this is nothing but well-known Planck formula for the energy, average energy of a harmonic oscillator at a temperature T. Okay. So now we have another equation for the energy of harmonic oscillator rather than kT. It is this formula. In case of classical theory, the energy was equal to kT, and for 3n harmonic oscillator it was 3n kT. Now we have an exponential term minus 1, which is different from the classical formula. And if we plot the temperature dependence of average energy, on the x-axis, if we take h nu by kt, and the y-axis we take average energy divided by kt, we have this type of curve. It means if temperature is very, very high, this term is 1. If temperature is very, very low, this temperature term is 0. Okay. So at high temperature, if we talk about high temperature, T is very high, that is, then average energy by kT is equal to 1. It means average energy is nothing but kT. What is that? That is basically what we get in the classical theory. It means the Einstein theory or the Planck's formula also give the classical theory, classical value of energy at high temperatures. Okay. But however, at low temperature, this energy decreases exponentially with temperature. There is exponential decrease in the energy. While in case of classical theory, it was temperature independent. And in case of Einstein model, the vibrational energy of solid containing n atoms is equal to 3n times average energy, and 3n times this is energy obtained from the Planck's formula. Okay, so now this we have, instead of equal to 3n kt, what we have in classical theory, now we have 3n h nu upon e to power h nu by kt minus 1. So the frequency term is also there, which was not there in case of classical theory. So the specific heat at constant volume, see, specific heat nothing but the first derivative of the energy. So when we have the energy, we will simply take the first derivative of energy and we will get this formula. Just take the first derivative of del by del E by del T. We have 3n h nu by kt, simple differentiation, nothing more. Okay, we will get this. From the next lecture, I will try to have a pen also so that I can write down on the whiteboard. But today I don't have any pen, so maybe I can show you some more derivations on the next time. And according to quantum mechanics, the possible energy levels of harmonic oscillator are n plus half h nu, where n equal to 0, 1, 2, and we can write, if we take this inside h nu by t, and this is the value of the what we have from Planck's formula. Okay, and what is this h nu by 2? H nu by 2 is nothing but the 0 point energy, because in this formula, if T is equal to 0, then the energy is equal to h nu by T, 0 point energy. It means it shows that at temperature 0 also the harmonic oscillator has some energy, which is h nu by 2. Okay. And according to quantum mechanics, atoms vibrational energy is not even zero at absolute zero. That is, I told you the same thing. Now temperature is very, very high. Equation number 12. What is equation number 12? 12 is the specific heat, the temperature dependent specific heat. Now, if h nu by k, if temperature is very high, then this term will be very, very low. Okay, this term is very, suppose we say it is x, h nu by kt is x. So this term is e to the power x minus 1. And if we do the exponential expansion, it will be 1 plus x square upon factorial 2 and so on. And we retain the first order term and neglect the higher order term. In case of this as well as this, in the case of denominator or also in the above term. So at high temperatures, we will get here equation 12 reduces in the first approximation to the classical limit. First approximation means e to the power x is equal to 1 plus x, or we will retain only the term up to first order terms in exponential. However, and we will get the same value of energy and specific heat what we had from the classical theory. However, at low temperature, the specific heat decreases with temperature, increases with temperature, or increases with temperature, or decreases with decrease in temperature, increases with increase in temperature. And let us introduce a new term, Hd equal to k theta e, where theta is called Einstein temperature. And we put in the equation number 12, which is equation for specific heat, and theta E, in place of h nu, we put k theta E. It means we are writing down the frequency of the vibration in terms of a temperature, which is Einstein temperature. We will get this equation. Okay. And this is called Einstein function. Okay. Where theta is called Einstein temperature, f is called Einstein function. And this function is, what is this function? It is the ratio of Cv upon 3R. And what is 3R? 3R is the classical heat capacity. Okay, Cv is the heat capacity obtained from the Einstein theory, and 3R is the classical heat capacity. So theta E is the Einstein temperature, Fe is the Einstein function. It determines the ratio of the heat capacity or specific heat at temperature T and the classical value. It is the specific heat at temperature T, and this is the classical value, and the ratio is nothing but the Einstein function. So Einstein function is this Cv upon 3R. And experimentally, it is found that most of the solids, lattice heat capacity at very low temperature, liquid helium, it is proportional to T cube. I told you in the beginning that T cube dependence heat capacity is observed experimentally. And if temperature is much, much less than Einstein temperature, then equation 30, this is the equation number is equation, it should be equation 12, not the 13. It leads to the specific heat which is proportional to e to the power minus theta e by t. So rather than T cube dependence, it gives you the exponential dependence of heat capacity. Okay. And if we plot the curve of heat capacity as a function of temperature, where T upon TE is the, rather than theta E, in this curve they are showing it as TE, but T is equal to theta E, Einstein temperature is this ratio as a function of Cv. We get this type of curve. And this work was published by Einstein in Annalen der Physik. It is the German journal, okay, in 1907. And in this, he published his theory of heat capacity. And this curve shows Cv versus T for the diamond. Okay. And these circles are experimental points, and the solid lines are the heat capacity obtained from the Einstein. So it has good agreement with experiment. The calculated values have still, they are little bit far from the experiment. Why they are far? Because experimentally the heat capacity at low temperature has T cube dependence, while in our case The heat, in case of Einstein theory, the heat capacity has minus theta E upon T. Okay. So what are the limitations of the Einstein model? First is, it was oversimplified model. Each atom is assumed to be an independent harmonic oscillator. And Einstein considered the vibration of single atom, assuming that atom vibration to be independent of each other. Still, he was able to somehow explain the temperature variation of heat capacity, although he was not able to explain the T cube heat capacity. Now, if I summarize what we have talked about, what we have done today, today I started with what are the various models for the heat capacity. Then I discussed briefly about the classical theory, which is Dulong-Pettit law, and the classical theory. In the classical theory, the energy is continuous. Okay, that is why we have integral, and the energy is proportional to the temperature. Average energy of the harmonic oscillator is kT, one atom, and total energy of the harmonic oscillator is 3n kT. And if we take the temperature derivative of 3n kT, we get 3n k. Okay, which is nothing but R. That is the heat capacity. So the in case of classical theory, heat capacity is independent of temperature. It is 5.96 calorie per degree per mole. And then a theory to explain the temperature dependence at low temperature, the theory was given by Einstein, and theory is called Einstein theory of heat capacity 1907 or 1900, around 1906 or 1907. And again, I told you, in his model, he assumed that there are n atoms and represented by 3n harmonic oscillator, all have energy equal to nu, but they vibrate independently. Okay. And the energy of oscillator, for the energy of oscillator, he used the Planck formula, and he used that energy is quantized, energy is not continuous. That is the quantum theory. Energy is equal to nh nu. And from that, he calculated the using the Planck's formula for energy. This is the Planck formula for energy. Using this formula, he calculated the average energy of the oscillator, and using this average energy, he calculated the heat capacity of the system, of the crystal as a whole. And in his theory, he was able to explain the classical part also, and somehow the temperature dependence at low temperature. And there are some shortcomings of the classical theory that were overcome by the Einstein in partially, and still there are some shortcomings of the Einstein theory. And then Debye has a improved model, and he was able to explain in his model, he was able to explain T cube dependence of the heat capacity. Now, what are the limitations? Why the Einstein model has some shortcomings? Because the Einstein model is oversimplified model. Second is, although he introduced the quantum mechanical treatment, and second, Einstein considered that the vibration of a single atom, assuming that atomic vibrations are independent of uh, independent of like he neglected the interatomic interaction. Okay, 1 minute.